Hello and welcome to another episode by Travel Family Academy. My name is Paola and today we're going to be talking about what documents you might need when you fly alone with your baby or toddler. One of the things that we have done a lot is fly alone with our babies and toddlers, and there's a few documents and a few papers that you might need upon your destination or even when you're leaving. So the first things you need to think about is visas and passports and where are you going to and if you need it or if you don't. We recommend you checking the airlines policies, checking where you're going and what the entry requirements are. And if you do need a passport for yourself because it's a national flight, your baby will need it too. So you need to make sure that you check these requirements. Next thing, we recommend you having birth certificate. If you're flying alone with your toddler and your baby, we always recommend you to bring the birth certificate with you because that will guarantee, it's the official document where you are actually the parent of the child, especially because whenever you fly, in the US, you don't need the documents for your baby as long as you have the birth certificate. So it's always a good idea for you to have the birth certificate with you whenever you fly. Next thing you might want to consider is, do you need a consent letter? So we have flown many times alone, as we have already said, but we've never actually been asked for a consent letter. But when I travel alone with my mum, for instance, a few years back, we did have these and we had to use them. For instance, we flew from Portugal to UK and we had to have these papers. We were already old, so we were already 12 or something, so we still needed them. So there are countries and there are airports that will ask for it, so you need to make sure that you have it just in case. And I know what you're thinking. So if maybe you're a single parent or you just don't, you're not together, so you can't get the consent letter. That's also fine. You just need to bring along the custody documents and all of that paperwork just to make sure that you are safe, because you do not want to be in a different country and someone asks you for these papers and you don't have them. You might, I don't know what's going to happen, but you can lose your child. So it's better to be safe than, to not have these documents at hand. But again, like if you have the birth certificate and if you have the things that, prove that you are the parent of the child, you can also try and call. That's something that we have done before, is that you just call the parent to give, to talk to the agent on the phone, etc., etc. So these are all the things that you kind of have to consider if you're flying alone. Flying alone with your toddler is not a simple thing, but it is very doable. We have quite a few, another few videos about flying solo with your baby or toddler that I'm going to tag in the description below so you guys can have a look at them. Last thing on the documents that you need to make sure you have with you is any medical documents. So if your toddler has an allergy or if they have any sort of medical condition, make sure you have all of these with you, as well as the medication prescriptions and things like that, because you might be asked for this in TSA and they go for a different screening. Alright, last thing I want you to remember is all airlines and all airports and all countries have different rules, and that's one of the main things that we find it most annoying about traveling with kids, is because there's always a different rule. So like whenever you've been allowed something, then you go to a different airport and you're not allowed that anymore. So you kind of have to check online, you have to research it beforehand and do all of these checks before you actually go on the flight. Now, if you do want to make this easier for you, we do have our Ready to Fly Mom course where we have everything, all of this, all the information on major airports and major airlines, where you can just literally click and find the information for you, and it's just easy and it's there. Everything that you need to know about flying with babies and toddlers, it's in there. Like any entertainment, how to pack, how to survive airports and layovers. We also have our ebook. It's a bit smaller, but it does cover the major points that you need to know about flying with your baby and toddler. I will link everything below, as well as our Amazon storefront where we share all the items we use for flying, including strollers, as well as entertainment and, any extra bits that we take with us. I do recommend you checking it out. If you have any questions or if you need any extra information on flying solo with your toddler, just comment them below and we will get to you. If you also want us to talk about any other topic, just let us know in the comments and we will make sure to cover that in the few weeks to come. That's it from me. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for listening. Bye!